Right now, you are responsible for this month's rent in the inland Northwest, meaning if you don't pay now, you will have to pay eventually. But when you have to pay, and whether or not you might get evicted, well, that depends on what state you live in.
In Idaho, there has been no executive or legislative action to protect renters, with a small exception of some extremely limited measures in Boise. But an order by the state Supreme Court might help. Because of COVID-19, many types of hearings have been put on hold, and that includes most evictions. So in theory, if you don't pay rent this month, the eviction process could stall. But landlords can still start those proceedings and then evict you as soon as hearings are allowed again. Meanwhile, in Washington, Governor Inslee has ordered extensive protections for renters. He's dramatically expanded a previous order to reduce financial harm caused by not paying rent. The current order essentially bans all evictions unless there's proof the tenant poses imminent danger to health or safety. Property owners also can't move you to a different unit or charge any kind of late fees as punishment. Furthermore, they're not allowed to even threaten to do any of those things later because you aren't paying now. Finally, you will have to pay the rent eventually, but under this order, your landlord has to work out a reasonable payment plan. They can't treat back rent as enforceable debt, meaning they can't evict you for it, use a collections agency, or report it to a credit agency. There is an exception for those things, however, if you refuse to come to a reasonable payment agreement. Okay, what about mortgages? Well, the federal government has offered some help there if your mortgage is federally backed, such as through Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. There's a temporary stay on foreclosures until mid-May, and you have the right to request a forbearance on your mortgage if you've been hurt financially by COVID. Also, if your mortgage is federally backed, you can't evict any tenants you might have, no matter what state you're in, until mid-July. Now, if your mortgage isn't federally backed, there don't seem to be any explicit protections, but you may be able to work something out with the bank.
So bottom line, if you can pay your rent, doing so will help you avoid a lot of future grief no matter where you live. But in Idaho, if you don't pay rent, you could get evicted. Whereas in Washington, if you don't, you'll simply have to work out a payment plan with your landlord. In Spokane, Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.